Alrighty, kindergarten. So welcome to our new week of writing. We're gonna be doing something sort of similar to what we did last week, where we're gonna continue to practice drawing pictures as well as writing words with labels and writing sentences. So the pictures that you see right now are of some books. One of them is called Corduroy, which you may have read before, and it's by Don Freeman. Don Freeman is both an author and an illustrator. He not only writes the words, but he also draws the pictures in the story. And you're going to be practicing that today in your writing lesson. And then the other author that you may also know is Eric Carle. He is an author and an illustrator just like Don Freeman. He writes the words and draws the pictures. So as you can see, there's many different books that he has written, just like Don Freeman, and they both practice using pictures and using words. And you are going to practice that as well. But as you know, you need to think first about what you're going to draw or write. You have to think first about what you're going to draw or write. So again, with our lesson 5, you're going to be practicing using pictures and words, but first you have to think. So if I want to practice thinking, I want to think about something that I know I do. And one of the things that I do is bake. And I love to bake cookies, but I have to think about what I'm going to draw first. So when I'm thinking about what I need to draw, I know I have to draw myself in my kitchen. I know that I'm going to have to draw the cookies that I'm baking, as well as maybe the bowl that I'll use to mix the cookie dough. So those are different things you'll have to think about when you're thinking of your story. You have to think about who is in the story. Is it you? Is it your mom or your dad? Is it your brother or your sister, auntie, uncle? Who is in your story? Who do you need to draw? And then what do you need to draw? What are you doing? Are you flying a kite? Are you driving in a car? Are you in your house? So you're also not only thinking about what you're doing, but where are you? So think about who is in your picture, think about what is in your picture, and think about where you are. Where are you in this story? So I know a couple of things. I know I'm the only one in my story. I know that I'm going to be drawing cookies and stuff to bake, as well as my oven. And then I know that I'm in my kitchen. That's the where. So the who, the what, and the where should be in your story. And I want to make sure that I'm writing labels in my pictures too, so that people know what I'm drawing. So here I go. I'm going to make sure to use a pencil first, and then I'll use my markers. So I know that I have to draw my table. So I'm drawing my table right now. I know that I have to draw my mixing bowl that I use to mix the cookie dough. And I have something that's called a whisk that I use, as well as something that's called a spatula. Okay. So I've got my mixing bowl, I've got that. And then I need to make sure over here that I'm drawing my oven. So on top of my oven, I know I've got my burners. And I know that in my oven, I have to draw the knobs that I turn for my oven. And then of course, how I open my oven. Okay, so the handle right there. So I've drawn my table where I was mixing my stuff, and I've also drawn my oven. And then I want to make sure to draw myself. So usually when I bake, I know that I have to carry my tray of cookies once I'm done with them. So I'm going to draw myself carrying a tray of cookies. So again, you want to put as many details as possible in your story. And when I'm making my cookies, I usually do not have my hair down. I make sure that my hair is up in a bun. You always want to make sure your hair is in a bun whenever you're cooking at home. So I've drawn myself, I've drawn the cookies. I know I'm in the kitchen because I have the burner and the oven and the table, and I know that I have my cookies. So now I can color my picture. So you know that cookies, they're kind of a brownish color. They have chocolate chips in them. I know that my hair is brown. Okay. Some people's have ovens that have black burners. Some people's ovens are different colors. So I want to make sure I'm putting as many details as possible in my picture. All right. And my table is white, so I'm going to leave it that same color. So now I want to make sure that I'm putting labels. So I know that I've drawn myself, so I know that I need to put the label of me, which is one of our sight words. I have drawn myself, so I know that I need to put the label of me. Then I want to put the label of oven. Okay, so oven. So if I don't know how to spell it, I just can stretch it out like I use Stretchy the Snake. And I go, oven. So I know I hear that O, of. I know I hear that V, N, I hear that E sound. Oven. I hear that N sound. So if you don't know how to spell something, you can stretch out the word. Stretch it out and think of the letters that can spell that word. What are the letters that you hear? And then over here, I have the word table. I know I want to write the word table. 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 A. I know that's the letter A. Tab. I know that's a B. Oh. Table. So I have table, me, and oven. And you can put as many labels as you like, but you want to have at least 1 to 2 labels. And right now I have 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now it's time for me, after I've drawn my picture and I've put my labels, that I want to make sure that I write my story. So I have to think about what I'm doing. And I know in the story, I am baking cookies. So I could either say, I baked cookies or I made cookies. I baked cookies or I made cookies. So I want to think about what sentence I want to write. So I made cookies. I made cookies. I made cookies. So it's always a really good idea, a very smart idea, like a first grader, to say the sentence to yourself over and over again before you write it. So I know I'm going to have a big I, a capital I. It should be uppercase. So I made. And again, if I don't know how to spell it, I can stretch it out. I made. I know that's an M. And look at how I'm spacing my words. My words are not too close together. So when you're writing your sentences, make sure they're not too close together. I made. I hear that A sound again. Made. D. I hear that D. I made. I made cookies. Ooh, I know 2 letters make the k sound. I know it's C and K. So maybe it's spelled with a K. Cookies. Ooh. Cookies. Cook. Well, I'm hearing another K. Cookies. Well, I hear an E. Cookies. Cookies. Oh, I hear an S. So I made cookies. And then, of course, I know that I'm done with my sentence, but I want to have a big fat period right here. So I made cookies. So I put my labels, I wrote my sentence, and I know that I'm ready to go. So again, think about your story, draw your picture, put as many details as you can, and don't forget to write your labels. Because if you put yourself in your picture, your label should always be a me next to the picture of you. And then Once you're done, write your sentence. Do the best job that you can to spell your words. I made cookies. And think about the sentence you're going to write a couple of times, maybe 3 to 4 times. I made cookies. So that's what we're going to work on this week, using pictures and words to make our stories. Draw your story, write your labels, and then, of course, write your sentence. And if you want to, you can write more than one sentence. You can write a second sentence, okay? Just do the best job that you can. All right, guys, I cannot wait to see your great work. Bye for now.